everyone, and welcome to Class Act with Ilse Klink, where I help you take the hustle out of getting started as an actor. This week we're going to be looking at part 2 of what to expect on a film or television set. If you haven't seen part 1, please go back. It's about a week ago that I shot that one, and it'll give you the introduction to what to expect on a film or television set. As usual, we have a wonderful guest who gives us a lot of information about what it actually is like to be in the industry. And this week our special guest is Jarrid Geduld, marvelous actor who really draws you into his performance. He was seen in Black Sails, Twist, Four Corners, 10,000 BC, Indemnity, and he was also seen in Ellen, the Ellen Pakkie story, in which he played A.B. Pakkies, for which he won the Golden Horn Award 2019. He was really marvelous in that, and he's quite a talented young man. And we look forward to what he has to say and the advice that he's going to be giving us. Let's continue with our journey on what to expect on a film and television set. Last week's video ended on how marvelous it was to be in the makeup chair, to have your makeup done, your hair done, to also help you get into character, because these are very important details that are added to help you with your character. It's what your character looks like, and that can also start helping you with getting the picture on interpretation of the character. I mean, obviously we would have done all of your homework before, but this just takes it to the next level. The costumes your character wears and the makeup and hair that they have. Once you've come out of wardrobe and makeup, your second AD will collect you from the green room and take you down to the director, where you will do a word run, which is always great so the director can get a sense of where you're at in terms of what you're thinking about with your character. And it might also be the first time that you see your fellow actors who are going to be performing with you in that particular scene. So it's always good to have at least 1 or 2 word runs so that you are able to work with that person. The director can then also get a sense of what it is that you're thinking of doing, and they can make adjustments as well. Then you're going to be taken down to the set, which is always a very exciting place, and the director is going to block you. You're going to be doing blocking. She's going to say, move here, move there. You're going to walk around the table, go and sit down. I want you seated by these lines, and then you can continue your dialogue. And like I said before, there isn't always a lot of time to play on set. So you don't have the luxury most times of experimenting. You can say to the director, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel like my character would have moved on this, or this doesn't feel comfortable to move on these lines. Can I go a little bit later, or can I leave a little bit earlier? But in the end, with your blocking and your dialogue together, you'll then have a rehearsal. You'll have 1 or 2 rehearsals to see how things are. The cameraman and the lighting people would have been told by the director what the scene is going to look like and where the characters are going to be moving. So they have a basic idea. It's very important to work with your props when you are doing your rehearsals. When you're doing your camera rehearsal and when you're doing your rehearsals just after the blocking with your director, always use your props. It might be, we don't really smoke in films these days, but you will have to have a rehearsal of, okay, I light the cigarette here, so that you have an understanding of what it might be. They can give you 1 cigarette that you can rehearse with, just so you can light it, especially when you're not a smoker. That's the one thing that I think is important. Even though you aren't a smoker, sometimes you'll play a role that requires you to smoke. And then you need to be able to understand how it's done. Because, I don't smoke, so I try never to look like an amateur when I'm smoking. So I will light the cigarette, I'll take a puff, and then speak instead of blowing out, because the dead giveaway for me is when I blow out, you can see I'm not a smoker. You can see that when somebody is not a smoker and when somebody hasn't had or has never been pregnant. The fact that you have a belly in a pregnancy scene would already show that you are pregnant. You don't have to show that you are pregnant. Don't ever Put the hand in the small of the back. It drives me crazy. Then I know immediately that you've never had a child, and I don't believe you. Know how to do various things, like know how to ride a horse, know how to swim, These are things that are going to be required of you. Dancing even, even if it's like a cha-cha or a samba, know at least how to do those things. If your career is fabulous and you have longevity in your career, you are going to dance at some point, so learn how to dance. Add skills as you go, because it can only help you as an actor. You will find that with each department on a film or television set, so your camera department, your lighting department, and your sound department, your props, people don't touch each other's things. Each department sticks with what it is that they do. So you'll never see a cameraman going up to an actress and taking something out of her hair. Maybe there's a piece of fluff. You will never see that. That's wrong. They're not ever going to do that. So I would also say, don't move a light. Don't do any strange things that's not part of your department. If there's a prop that you need, or it has to go to the first position, once you've used a prop, hand it over to the props master, or whoever's doing props on set, hand it to them and they'll put it in first position. First position is where your prop needs to be for you to pick up or to hand over to somebody else. So just hand it to them. And it's also good to remember when you picked up your prop, which hand your prop was in, which hand you used it. These are all technical things, Besides the acting, you'll find that there's a lot of technical things you have to remember. There's also marks on the floor. You've got to hit a certain mark. There'll be like it's like a piece of cardboard in a bright color that's in the shape of a T that they'll put on the floor sometimes, and they'll say, okay, walk to your mark, stand on your mark and open slightly when you say these lines. So it becomes very technical. So you've got to be awake when you are shooting. You've got to be aware of what's going on with you. And then after that, your AD, that's your assistant director, who is very, very important on the floor. He sees to it that everything comes together. The technical side of things, he's watching that. He's got the technical floor, everything is under his control. He understands or will be communicated to about what the cameraman needs, about what the lighting person needs, about what props needs, and about what the sound people need. Speak to your AD if there's anything that you need on the floor. The next step would be your camera rehearsal. So then they bring in the cameras, because now the camera knows where they want to be in a particular scene. They will first do a wide shot of the scene, and then they'll come in for medium close-ups and close-ups. The cameraman will say, can you move to your right? When it's on camera, the moves are never massive. So it's going to be a couple of inches that you move to your right or left. If your camera said, can you just move over slightly? Go very slowly, go easier, and they'll say there. And you'll go, well, I hardly moved. That is the position that they need you in. And hit that mark. Before you start shooting your first scene, your AD will call final checks. That means that you have got to be checked. Your makeup artists or your standby makeup artists and standby wardrobe will come in to see if there's any fluff on your top, or whether your jacket is sitting properly, or you're fixing your collar, whatever it is that you need to do. See that your earrings are on correctly and your necklace is hanging in the middle where it should be. So there's a lot of distraction. Somebody's putting lipstick on your lips, they're checking your brows, they're putting powder on you, you're getting powdered and puffed, and all the while you've got to keep your focus. And once they've left, there'll be a moment where you can pull yourself towards yourself and you will start the scene. On the floor, when you start shooting, the AD will count you down. They'll say, stand by everybody. Everybody's standing by, which means everybody's ready to shoot. Stand by, speed. That means that the camera can start running and also sound can start running. They can push the on button, as it were. And then he'll do a countdown, 3, 2, 1, action, and everything will be in motion. Say your lines, give the emotion, use your props. It's a lot to remember. There's a lot that's expected of you, and you've got to rise to the occasion every single time. Once your scene has been cut, the cameras will move around. If they did a wide before, that means the entire space with your whole body in it, or a wide shot. They'll move to a mid shot or a close-up. Normally a mid shot, then they'll do the mid shots on a particular actor. If there are 3 actors, they'll maybe do a mid shot on the one, then your close-up. They'll move to the next actor, and then they'll move to the next actor. In other words, you're going to repeat your dialogue over and over and over again, and you've got to give a performance to the actors that are on camera all the time so that they have something to work off. So you can't just, after they've done your mid shot and your close-up, you can't all of a sudden go, yeah, well, I'm done, so I don't really have to act. You've got to help your fellow performer to give your best so that they who are on camera and are being shot can give their best. So you never stop. And if you forget your words, but you're not on camera, you know that you are not on camera, somebody else is, that's okay. Don't stop the scene because you forgot your words. Don't stop the scene. You know, you can ask, what is the word? You can ask your AD what the word is or what the line is that you've forgotten, and you carry on. You never stop the scene because the camera is not on you. It is on your fellow performers. Once your director is happy with the scene, they'll say, and scene, or that's the scene, people, and you can go on and get dressed for your next scene. And that's what I have for you this week. Remember, next week we have part 3 of what to expect on a film and television set. And now let's listen to what Jarrid Geduld has to tell us about what it is that he wished he had known when he started out as an actor.
2 things I wish I knew before becoming an actor. Number 1, that it was going to be the most difficult, the first few years were going to be the most difficult part of, being an actor. So be prepared for that. It is going to be extremely exhausting and mentally and psychologically trying. So be prepared to be tested and yeah. So that's one thing I wish I knew. But it's very important that when you hit that first few years of your career where you feel like nothing's going your way and it's you're just not booking anything, keep on going, push through. Very, very important. Number 2, I think I wish I knew that there is an element of business when it comes to acting. It is very important that you see the business side of being an actor. It's not called show business for no reason. Acting for a living is a business, and you should genuinely put in the work. Try and understand yourself, try and learn about yourself every single day so that you have a very deep understanding of who you are, which will then help you in the various roles that you will play over the years. And really find something special in terms of your acting. Find something that sets you apart from everybody else and kind of create your own path in terms of the way you bring your characters to life, which will then inevitably lead you to being set apart from everybody else. That's the most difficult thing to crack, is turning your craft into a business. And once you figure that out, I think you'll be in a much better position as an actor. So those are my 2 tips. I don't know if it's going to help you, but at the end of the day, just keep on going. All right? If you love it, stick to it, stay true, and yeah, money isn't everything.
Thank you so much to Jarrid for those insights. It's always wonderful to hear what other actors do have to say about how their careers got started or the stumbling blocks that they came across, how they were able to overcome it, and what was necessary for them to do to overcome these things. Thank you so much, Jarrid. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave any comments or questions that you have in the comment box below, and I will answer them. Take care, everyone.